Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Rapid Subconscious Reprogramming Community. Today, I want to talk about this specific topic of why is it that so many reprogramming techniques out there are not working. And just a reminder, I've been studying this for 14 years, and I've studied many big names out there: Tony Robbins, Bob Proctor, Dr. Dispenza, Edgar Tolle, what's his name? This other guy over here, cannot remember his name now. Bruce Lipton. I've studied many names out there. And I also had my own spiritual teacher, mentor, coach that really helped me and taught me these techniques that I'm sharing. And I have been able to figure out what is it that's going on that most people out there are having a hard time being able to reprogram their mind, change beliefs, change their stories, change their emotion, change the way they see the world. And this is what I want to cover today to share with you guys. So thank you very much for watching. If you're watching live, hashtag live, that will be great. If you're watching replay, hashtag replay. If you can share this, I'm doing some of these talks here on my profile so that more people get to see it, more people get to, of course, learn about these things. Because even if you go on YouTube and type, reprogramming of the mind, there's so much information out there. And again, a lot of people are struggling with this. So that's why I wanted to do this today and talk about this. So thank you very much again for watching, for being around. Just let me know if you're there. Thank you, Romana, for being here on Zoom. So let's get going with this amazing topic. So what is going on, right? So let me give you, and I always give this example to make it very clear, right? If my wife comes to me or my kid comes to me and says, Dad, I'm sad, my old way of dealing with that would have been saying, hey, buddy, don't feel sad, look at all the great things that are happening in your life. And I would try to get him out of that state because, of course, I don't want him to suffer. And I'm trying to do it from a loving place. And listen to this. I'm trying to do it from a good intention. But if I do that, I'm not realizing that I'm invalidating his experience. Yes, listen to that again. I'm invalidating his experience when I deny how he's feeling or when I try to change the way he feels. I'm not helping him learn how to go through this sadness, loneliness, anger, whatever that he's feeling. Does this make sense so far? Type a yes in the chat if this is making sense, where if I try to get my kid to change the way he feels, because of course I don't want him to suffer, I'm not validating his experience. So although it comes from a nice intention, I don't want him to suffer, I'm not teaching him how to go through that. So the first thing is I'm denying, I'm not validating his experience. And second of all, I'm not teaching him how to go through these emotions. And this is one of the biggest things that I see over and over again, people not knowing how to deal with their negatives. So a lot of people out there, many big names that I said at the beginning are teaching. The other day I was listening to a video about Bruce Lipton where he was teaching amazing things about the mind. When it had to do with reprogramming, he was saying, if you're feeling sad, start telling yourself that you're happy, and eventually you're going to stop feeling sad. Would you do that to your partner? Again, think of this for a second. If your partner comes in and your partner got fired and he or she comes over and says, hey, I'm feeling sad. Would you tell them, oh, just, think that you're happy, think happy thoughts? How would you think your partner would react if they're going through a very difficult situation and you're telling them to deny their negatives and try to think positive? How do you think, they would feel? I did it, it didn't work. There you go. Thank you, Romana. You tried it and it didn't work because you know what? It ain't going to work. Right? In some cases, two things could happen, right? Let's put it this way. Two main things could happen. One thing, the person is able to disconnect from their pain, from their sadness, right? Numb it in a way and pretend it's not there, right? Or on the other, they are not going to share with you how they're feeling because you cannot support them and understand them through their negative feelings. Yes. Exactly. They're going to stop sharing with you because you're incapable of at least putting yourself in their place and helping them go through what they're going through. So, or they numb it, repress it, ignore it, right? And pretend everything is okay. Again, as I was saying with this video that I was watching the other day with Bruce Lipton, where you try to repress and convince yourself that you're feeling happy, yes? But the mind is not. So if I wouldn't do that to my kid, if I wouldn't do that to my partner, if I wouldn't do that to my best friend, his wife passed away. Oh, don't feel sad. You got to feel happy. Look at all the great things you had with your wife. If I try to deny his experience, he's going to get really angry with me, or he might shut down, not want to share with me, not want to talk with me anymore. Yes, exactly. So if I wouldn't do it to a friend of mine, I wouldn't do it to my kid, I wouldn't do it to my partner, why the heck do we do it to ourselves, people? Is my mind different than yours, than my partner, than my friend, than my kids? It's the same mind. So how come are we going to be so authoritarian, so unloving to ourselves, right? But we are taught to be loving to others. You see that it doesn't make any sense what I'm saying. Type a yes in the chat if it's making sense that it doesn't make sense. Yes, type a yes in the chat if it doesn't make sense what they're teaching. They're telling you to treat others differently than you would treat yourself. So we got to be careful, because I'm not talking about dwelling in the past, dwelling in the pain. No, but I'm sharing with you people how to start dealing with your negatives. So why is it that most reprogramming techniques don't work? Because we're doing exactly the opposite that we would do to most people out there. And yes, some people might say, oh, but Tommy, I tend to tell my kids not to be unhappy. I tend to tell my wife to, or my partner, blah, whatever. That could be authoritarianism. That's why we don't question these techniques that these big names are out there are teaching, because deep down, people, it resonates, because that's how we were taught. When we were kids and we felt anger, we were told not to feel anger. Yes, when we were kids, you were told, don't be angry, don't be grumpy, don't be sad, don't be scared. Who here has sometimes heard these type of statements? Don't be angry. Type a yes in the chat if you have been told, don't be angry, don't be sad, don't be grumpy, don't be this, don't be mad, don't be sad, don't be mean. Who here has ever experienced those type of things? So we are used to listen to these things that are told to ourselves, mainly by our parents at school, our grandparents. So we started being authoritarian to ourselves. So that's why it resonates so much when all these big names are telling you to tell yourself not to feel angry, but to feel happy, to feel joy, to feel grateful, to feel forgiveness. You're forcing yourself to feel something that deep down you're not feeling at this moment. So instead of repressing it, we need to understand it. If somebody comes to you, the most loving thing to do, if somebody says, oh, Tommy, I'm sad. Hey, why are you sad? What's going on? I would try to help that person understand. I would try to understand why that person is sad. Maybe that person knows, maybe I don't. Or maybe that person really doesn't know why they're feeling the way they're feeling. So the idea is to help people deal correctly with their negatives, not repress them, not ignore them, not shove them down deeper into their mind because they're not willing to face them. Most people are teaching the wrong way how to deal with your negative emotions. So the first thing to do is to love and embrace the part of you that is feeling sad, the part of you that is feeling shame, the part of you that is feeling anger. Whatever it is, the emotion, we need to first love and accept the part of us that is feeling that. I like what Jordan Peterson teaches, that it's like we have another personality, how we need to talk with that personality. Dr. Gabor Mate teaches the same thing, that we got to go with compassion inquiry into the mind. We need to first love and accept what is. If we repress, if we ignore, we're not really dealing with what it is. And I've seen this with a lot of people out there that have tried regular therapy. They have tried inner child healing, shadow work, whatever it is. Whenever you're trying to ignore, repress, cover up, or fix the problem with inner child healing or shadow work, whatever it is, go into the mind to fix the problem, to change it, you're already coming normally from a place of judgment, from a place of rejection. Oh, I don't want this part of me, so I need to change it. I need to heal it. We need to stop that nonsense. And I've said that to others, such as my children friends, I need to be more, yeah, exactly what I'm saying to myself and what I'm saying to others. I need to learn how to be more loving to myself and to others. And if I'm doing it to others, how to be more loving to myself. Because I see over and over and over again, these people that are teaching how to repress your negative emotions, how to not validate what you're feeling. So again, how are you going to be able to become more emotional, connect with your happiness, connect with your true joy from within, if you're numbing, if you're repressing? Because that's what a lot of people are teaching you. You know, Tony says, you know, I love many of the things that he teaches, but he says you got to, you know, let that anger be there for 30 seconds and then, you know, forget about it. You know, let it to the side and then move forward. Wait, why is that anger there in the first place? What is it protecting you from? Why is procrastination there? What is it protecting you from? We need to understand that emotions and behaviors are normally connected to a part of us that needs our attention. Yes, it needs our attention. As I have helped people overcome procrastination, it was by understanding why the mind was creating the procrastination in the first place. Perfectionism, laziness, low energy, overthinking. It was about loving and accepting what is to then be able to start changing. But if you don't come with an open mind, open heart to understand what's going on in your mind and why you create these emotions and these behaviors normally as a protective mechanism, a lot of people see the mind. Even I have heard Edgar Tolle saying, when you have any negative thought, that's not you, just kick it away. That's not you. It is still a part of you. If I have an infected finger, is that not me? I need to chop it off and ignore it? No, I need to deal with. So we have these big gurus out there teaching amazing things. I love Edgar Tolle. I have his book back here behind me, The Power of Now, that big one over there that I'm pointing, that's The Power of Now. And I've read it and I love many of the things that he teaches. But when it has to do with reprogramming of the mind, he has it all wrong. I'm sorry. Whenever you're forcing yourself to change the way you think, even by repetition, you need to understand that the mind has proof to believe what it does. Oh, I'm not good enough. It has proof. When you were a little kid, something happened and it created that belief out of a situation that happened. It is partial truth, but it has some truth in it. So the mind, when you say, oh, Tommy, you're good enough, you're good enough, you're good enough, the mind is going to go back and say, wait. What happened in the past? I have proof here, here, and here that I'm not good enough. So that's not the correct way to start reprogramming the mind. If we continue going down that road, unfortunately, the mind is not going to be reprogrammed. It's going to be repressed, not reprogrammed. We're not going to learn how to deal with our negative emotions. So if we are treating others in a more loving, supporting, compassionate way to help them go through their struggles, why should you treat yourself in a different way, guys? Think about that, please. Take a minute to think about that. If you're being authoritarian with your kids, with your partner, to try to help them change, even from a good intention, normally their mind is going to close up. If you judge a kid, if they're doing something wrong, you judge them, do you think that they're going to be more open or more closed to understanding, to learning? Think that again. Do you think a person is going to be more open-minded or closed-minded if they feel judged, rejected over something that they're doing? Are they going to be open to learning? The answer normally is no for most people. They're not open to learning. They're not open to changing. A kid might change out of fear, but that is not love. So then no wonders why people have so much troubles going to the gym, taking care of themselves, eating healthier, and they blame, the diet, they blame their coach or whatever. It's because it's their mindset. They need to deal with their mindset, not just with learning a new diet, practicing a new diet, practicing, fasting, intermittent fasting, or going more to the gym or whatever. It has to do with how they're treating themselves. How can we learn how to treat ourselves more loving? Think about that, people, because again, I want to prove to you that most of the techniques out there with these big names that are shoving into the social media, how to reprogram the mind, sorry, but they're not the best option. They have worked because we have lived generation past generation in this authoritarian way of pushing ourselves to do stuff, kicking ourselves in the butt, convincing ourselves through, repetition of something. But things are changing. The new generations are questioning a lot more than what we and older generations used to do. Before, for us, an older generation was, you do it like this because I say so. So you went on and did it like that. New generations, kids are now coming with a much more open mind, as in, why? Why should I do it like this? What if I do it in a different way? This is so important. We got to stop this nonsense of authoritarianism because it's not working for most people. We got to be more loving. A lot of these big names talk about self-love. If you're forcing yourself to stop feeling in a way, that's not self-love. Self-love is, okay, I feel sad. I have valid reasons that I might not be aware of. I have valid reasons to feel this way. Let's explore into the mind why I feel this way. Try to understand why you're feeling the way you're feeling, because again, there are valid reasons. But if you cannot even support that idea of that there is valid reasons for you to feel depressed, anxiety, sad, lonely, or whatever, because I've heard this from so many people, but Tommy, I have a family, I have my dream life, I'm living the life that I wanted, or people that don't have that, don't get me wrong, but people that have it don't understand, they're judging already. And the people that don't have it, they're judging that they would like to be further ahead. But then you find, and I've worked with several millionaires, that although they have their life together, deep down they feel lonely, deep down they feel very sad, deep down they feel unfulfilled, because they have put their recognition, their value on the outside, on the things that they have achieved. But they're not being able to love and accept themselves for who they are. So the first step to be able to start reprogramming the mind is to love and accept what is. If I'm feeling sad, if I'm feeling anger, if I'm feeling shame, if I'm feeling guilt, whatever it is, I need to love and accept what is, because that's what we should do with our kids. And my kid comes in and says, Dad, I'm feeling bad. I'm in a bad mood. I don't know why. Okay, I'm going to try to help him figure out why he's feeling that way, instead of repressing it, instead of ignoring it, instead of, trying to change him. First of all, I want to try to acknowledge and accept how he's feeling, love that part of him that is feeling that way, not try to change him, try to understand him. Let me know if this is making sense, please, people. I believe his point is not to help us reprogram the mind, but rather let go of the story. Okay, Romana, we'll talk that a bit more, of course. Thank you for sharing that. So let me know, again, if you're watching live on social media, #live, people. If you're watching replay, #replay, that would be great. If you want to share this with other people, the idea is to help people through this community, free community, to start reprogramming their mind the right way. If we keep trying something and it's not working, maybe you're not doing the most efficient way to change. Telling yourself to feel different is, in a way, rejecting of that part of me. So instead of rejecting that part of me, I want to share with you I want to invite you to love and accept that part of you. This is why this work that I do is so powerful to most people. Not everybody benefits from this, don't get me wrong. Some people still find it hard to love and accept what is, because they don't want to love and accept what is, because deep down they think that they're going to stay where they are by loving and accepting what is, so they fight back. And I've had some very few people that wanted to work with me, started working with me, and they were not willing to truly love and accept what is. They would still rather try the reprogramming by repetition of positive things, of gratitude, things like that. So I told them, you know what, this is not for you. Thank you very much. And those are the few percentages that they didn't find value on this type of work. But the people that truly practice the love and acceptance, and they start developing that self-love to themselves the same way they would do to their kids, to their family members that they love dearly, or their friends that they love dearly, and they want to help them, we need to do the same thing to us. Love and accept where we are, what we feel, what we think, the behaviors that we have, whether it is alcohol, whether it is drugs, whether it is, procrastination, whatever we're doing, whether it is social media, whatever it is that we're doing, love and accept that part of you, because that part of you has valid reasons to be doing what it's doing. Whenever you can truly understand, connect deep with that part of you, there are more chances that you're going to be able to stop that behavior, but through love and acceptance, not through fear. I've seen big names I already said at the beginning of the talk, some people out there, the Dickinson method or Dickens method, I don't remember exactly the name, where you scared, sorry, I'm going to say it, you scare the shit out of yourself to stop doing a negative behavior, a negative habit. You picture yourself in 10 years following this behavior, any addiction, maybe smoking, drinking alcohol, and see yourself dying alone in a hospital. And then you change. That is not love, people. That is fear. Yeah, you can change with fear, of course, but that is not the most loving way for yourself. Because if you do that to a partner of yours, there's more chances that they're going to smoke more, they're going to do more of that addiction because they feel less loved, they feel more judged, rejected. So now they're going to fall back to the addiction that you're using to numb the pain. Yes, there are more chances that people are going to fall more into their addictions while being, attacked, because they started that addiction in the first place from a lack of love and acceptance. So there are more chances there's going to be more of that. And this is what I want you to understand through this method of rapid subconscious reprogramming, is true love, pure love to ourselves. So I hope that makes sense. I hope you're liking this. Let me know in the chat on social media what you think about this. If you have any objections, please let me know. Any questions, let me know. I'm here to help. I want to stop this nonsense out there of pushing ourselves to change, of denying our negative emotions, or trying to repeat positive, toxic positivity to change something. Seriously, I saw this amazing video, Bruce Lipton talking about the mind from the 0 to 7 years old, how your program, how you download programs from your environment, from the people around you, and most of those programs are wrong. And now you start suffering as an adult, you start creating behaviors. And then he says one of the main things to do to start reprogramming is affirmations. Oh, I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy. And eventually you're going to convince yourself, that's what he says, that you're happy, and you're going to reprogram the mind. That's not true. You are repressing, you are hiding that negative experience in the back of your head, but it's still going to be there. I hope, again, this is helping you think what I'm saying. Check if I'm right or wrong. Don't get me wrong, I'm okay being wrong. But I'm proving to you that you wouldn't do that to other people that you love, because you realize that they tend to close down whenever you try to force them to think different. Forcing somebody else to think different doesn't open their mind to listening to your point of view. It closes them up to try to prove their point or shut down into learning something new. If we want to learn a new behavior, want to learn how to deal with our things in a different way, we need an open mind. An open mind, and science has proved this, comes from feeling safe and feeling a loving and safe environment. If a teacher is all the time rejecting a kid, being judgmental, being critic to that kid, do you think that kid is going to be more open or less open to learning? It's basic thinking, people, basic thinking. The same to us. If I'm judgmental and critic and rejecting myself all the time, I'm not open to learning. I might try to convince myself for that, but it's not true. So I hope this is making sense. Again, thank you very much for listening. Share this with other people if you feel that this can help other people, because there's so much nonsense, wrong things, all dated. Let's put it that, outdated, not all dated, sorry, outdated stuff that are not working for most people. Science kept evolving, and again, it's something of, discovery. So things that people used to do in the past that used to work in a way, because again, we were taught and we were, brought up like that, of being in a way denying and not validating our experience. As I was saying, don't be angry, don't be sad, don't be this, don't be that, right? We have tried that, and it has worked for some people, very few, but it's not working for most people. So what can change the mind? Love. Unconditional love is what changes the mind. So again, I appreciate you watching. If you're liking this, let me know. Share some love in this video. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you very much, and I'll see you around. Take care. Bye. Have a great week.